Today, we're diving into a story called the Ouroboros Audit. And let me tell you, this one gets under your skin. It's a chilling look at corporate logic taken to its absolute, terrifying extreme, a system that's designed to profit from human suffering. We're going to follow one person's choice to break free from this all-consuming machine, and it all kicks off with one simple, terrifying question.
So chew on this for a second. What if all the problems, all the suffering we see, isn't a bug in the system, but a feature? The Ouroboros Audit argues that maybe, just maybe, the misery isn't a flaw, it's the entire point. And our story begins when one man stumbles upon this horrifying truth.
So picture this. It's a gray morning, and an analyst named Thomas Reardon is standing on the edge of a bridge. He's just finished a risk assessment for his company, but the risk he found wasn't about money or market shares. No, it was about life and death. And here's the really scary part. This wasn't some evil villain's manifesto. It was a corporate memo, just a regular old document about optimizing revenue that, oh, by the way, casually penciled in a body count as an acceptable mortality increase. Yeah, this is the piece of paper that pushes Thomas Reardon right to the edge. But in his last moments, Reardon isn't just giving up. He's passing the torch. Out of sheer chance, a colleague, Elias Vance, sees him and stops. And what does Reardon do? He drops his briefcase with that file right into the river and gives him a final haunting message, a key for anyone who still has a conscience. I understood the assignment. I just declined to participate. Wow. Those are the words that just echo in Elias Vance's head. And that password? Sisyphus? From the Greek myth, the guy doomed to push a boulder up a hill forever, only for it to roll back down. It's the perfect, soul-crushing metaphor for the work Reardon was doing. And this warning? Well, it changes everything. So of course, Elias can't let it go, right? He is haunted by this. He eventually gets a copy of that file, and what he finds inside, it's not just evidence of a crime. It's a blueprint for a perfectly engineered, self-sustaining machine built on human misery. The file lays out what the story calls a perfect vertical integration of human suffering. Think about how sinister this is. The Keres Syndicate owns the whole cycle. First, they create the addiction. Then they sell the cure in their own clinics. And when that fails, which it's designed to do, they profit again from the prisons they invest in. It is a perfect closed loop. And human beings, they're just the raw material. And this is the number that broke Thomas Reardon. An acceptable mortality increase. A cold, calculated business decision to make their product more deadly because that would increase addiction rates and, you guessed it, boost profits. This is the moment the evil stops being an abstract idea and becomes a number on a spreadsheet, paid for with thousands of lives. Okay, so Elias has the smoking gun. He thinks, I've got them. He goes to his boss, a guy named Vokoff, to expose the whole thing. But what he learns is that he's not fighting a company. He's fighting an idea, a ghost in the machine that's way more powerful than any one person. And this is where things get really weird. Vokoff explains this concept of an egregore. He says a corporation isn't just a building or a name on paper. It's a thought form, an idea that becomes real because we all collectively believe in it. It's this non-physical thing that has legal rights, owns property, and, just like some ancient hungry god, it demands sacrifice to keep itself alive. And here's how the system justifies itself. It's chilling. Vokoff says they're not creating this deep human hunger for oblivion. They're just servicing it. It's this twisted, terrifyingly rational argument that turns monstrous exploitation into just another business supplying a demand. So you're probably thinking, just leak the file. Right? Well, it's not that simple, because the system has what you could call an immune response. The media, the government, the regulators, they're all tangled up in it. They're part of the machine. A truth this big, this contradictory, it isn't even suppressed. It's just ignored. It's like it doesn't even register. So Elias is trapped. He can't fight it from the outside. Every door is locked. He's pushed to his absolute breaking point and led to the very core of the machine, a place called the Ouroboros Furnace. And there, he's faced with an impossible choice. This is the ultimate dilemma, isn't it? What do you do? Option 1, comply. Just to become another cog in the machine. Option 2, annihilation. Do what Thomas Reardon did and just check out. Or is there a third option? Something else entirely. Radical sabotage, an act that doesn't just break the rules, it shatters the whole game.
So let's just compare these two paths. Reardon chose annihilation. It was an act of personal despair. And you know what? The system just kept on humming. But Elias, with help from a rogue insider named Elena, chooses sabotage. They don't just decline to participate, they decide to become a virus in the system's code. Their sacrifice isn't an escape, it's an attack.
Now, the logic here is pretty profound. This Ouroboros furnace, it's designed to consume everything. Data, lives, memories, to spit out profit. But the whole thing runs on coercion, on taking. By willingly jumping into that furnace, Elias and Elena introduce a paradox, a voluntary sacrifice. An act of pure, unadulterated choice in a system designed to eliminate it. And that paradox, it's the one thing the machine can't process. It's like a logical bomb that causes the system to literally eat itself.
But the collapse of the syndicate isn't the end of the story, not even close. In fact, it's the beginning of something totally new. Their act of sabotage doesn't just destroy a corporation, it unleashes something into the world, a kind of psychic contagion. They call it the waking. First the survivors, and then just people who hear the story start to experience this sudden, painful clarity. You know all the little lies we tell ourselves just to get through the day? The small compromises? Well, for these people, they just stop working. They're forced to look at their lives with brutal honesty, and a lot of them just walk away from their jobs, their relationships, their whole lives. They just can't stand to be complicit anymore. So after the dust settles, you've got this battle for the narrative. You've got the official story, which is, oh, it was a tragic industrial accident. Then you have the syndicate survivors trying to muddy the waters with conspiracy theories. And then you have this third thing, the waking. And it's not a story or a theory. It's a direct experience, spreading from person to person like a virus of consciousness that no one can control. And that's where the story leaves us, in the middle of the chaos with a population that is slowly and painfully waking up. The old script is gone. The serpent has finally finished eating its own tail. For the first time, the future is a completely blank page. So the real question the story asks is this: if you were suddenly, painfully awake, what would you write on it?